Let's get started. Number 6. Cherries. Cherries seem aggressively innocent. They're tiny, colorful, sweet, and usually associated with summer desserts rather than emergency rooms. But the seeds contain compounds that can release cyanide if the seeds are crushed, chewed, or otherwise broken open. Before you start throwing away every cherry in your refrigerator, relax. Accidentally swallowing an intact cherry pit usually isn't the same thing as chewing one up. The hard shell generally prevents the compounds inside from being released, and a small accidental swallow is unlikely to cause poisoning. The real problem is deliberately crushing or consuming large amounts of broken pits, and this is where human curiosity becomes suspicious. Because apparently the human brain occasionally looks at a fruit seed and thinks, I wonder what happens if I grind up several hundred of these. Please don't conduct that experiment. Cherry pits belong in the category of things that are perfectly normal when you eat the fruit correctly, but become dangerous when you decide to turn the leftovers into homemade cyanide seasoning. The same basic concern applies to the pits and seeds of several related stone fruits, including apricots and peaches. Nature gave the fruit delicious flesh and put the dangerous chemistry inside a rock-hard little package. Honestly, that's pretty considerate. It's almost like the tree is saying, enjoy the snack, just don't eat the ammunition. Number 5. Cashews, raw from the tree. That bag of raw cashews at the store isn't actually raw, and that fact alone should concern you a little. True raw cashews, straight off the tree, are wrapped in a shell containing urushiol, the exact same skin-irritating chemical found in poison ivy, except in a much more concentrated and dangerous form. Handling or eating truly unprocessed cashews can cause severe skin burns, blistering, and internal irritation, which is why every cashew you've ever eaten went through a steaming or roasting process, specifically to destroy that toxin before it ever reached a grocery shelf. This is one of the wildest food facts that barely anyone knows, because the entire danger has been quietly engineered out of the supply chain before consumers ever get involved. Workers who process cashews commercially have historically dealt with serious skin and respiratory issues from urushiol exposure, essentially trading their safety so the rest of us can snack guilt-free at our desks. So next time you're mindlessly grabbing a handful from a party bowl, know that you're eating a fully domesticated version of something that, in its natural state, is basically a chemical weapon disguised as a nut. Basically, cashews spent centuries being aggressively tamed by human ingenuity, and you've been benefiting from that industrial-scale bravery without even realizing it. Number 4. Wild mushrooms. Mushrooms are basically nature's version of a mystery box. Some are delicious, some are medicinal, some are harmless, and some look almost exactly like the delicious ones, while containing toxins capable of causing catastrophic organ damage. Certain wild mushrooms contain amatoxins, compounds associated with severe poisoning and potentially fatal liver failure. The especially nasty part is that poisonous mushrooms don't necessarily look scary. They don't glow neon green. They don't grow tiny warning signs. They can look perfectly ordinary, which is why casual mushroom identification is a terrible idea. Symptoms of serious mushroom poisoning can also be deceptive. Someone may initially experience stomach pain, vomiting, or diarrhea, then seem to improve before severe liver damage develops later. So you can eat a mushroom, feel terrible, start feeling better, and think, great, I'm fine. Meanwhile, your liver is somewhere backstage, filing a complaint. This is why experienced foragers rely on detailed identification methods rather than appearance alone, and why unknown wild mushrooms shouldn't be eaten simply because they resemble something from the supermarket. The supermarket mushroom has a barcode. The mysterious forest mushroom has absolutely nothing. And if your dinner requires you to ask 3 people, 2 apps, and a woodland enthusiast whether it's poisonous, perhaps dinner can simply be postponed. Number 3. Rhubarb leaves. Rhubarb stalks show up in pies looking tart and trendy, but the leaves attached to them are basically nature's do not touch sign. They're loaded with oxalic acid in concentrations high enough to cause kidney damage, breathing difficulty, and in rare severe cases, death. The stalks are totally fine to eat, which makes this even more confusing. Like one part of the plant got the welcome to the party invite, and the other part got quietly poisoned. During World War I, when food shortages pushed people to get creative with whatever was growing in the garden, rhubarb leaves were actually recommended as a vegetable substitute before anyone realized the mistake, and people got sick as a result. That's the kind of plot twist you'd expect from a mushroom, not a pie ingredient your aunt brings to every summer barbecue. Your kidneys are the real victims here, since oxalic acid binds with calcium and forms crystals that clog up your filtration system like a drain full of hair. Symptoms can include burning in your mouth and throat, stomach pain, and weakness, all from a plant part most people don't even think to question because the stalk seems so harmless. Basically, rhubarb is running a two-faced operation, sweet and pie-worthy on top, kidney crystal chaos hiding just one leaf away. Number 2. Apple seeds. You've eaten an apple core by accident at least once in your life, probably while power walking through an airport, and you didn't think twice about it. Turns out those tiny seeds are quietly holding a chemical called amygdalin, which your body can convert into actual cyanide. Yes, the poison from spy movies is chilling inside your favorite lunchbox fruit. 1 or 2 seeds won't do anything except maybe give your dentist a mild inconvenience, since your body handles trace amounts just fine. But crush and eat a large enough pile of them, which would take some serious dedication, and you're looking at dizziness, breathing trouble, and in extreme cases, death. The intact seed coating actually protects you most of the time, since your stomach can't break it down easily, so nature basically built in a lazy safety net. The danger only shows up when the seeds are chewed thoroughly or blended, like in overly ambitious smoothie recipes made by people who read one wellness blog and decided seeds were nutrient-dense. Cherries, apricots, and peaches hide the same cyanide-adjacent trick in their pits, so this isn't some Apple-exclusive conspiracy, it's a whole fruit family secret. Basically, nature handed apples a tiny self-defense mechanism, and most of us have been unknowingly playing Russian roulette with fruit salad and just walking away fine. Number 1. Elderberries. Elderberry syrup shows up every flu season looking like liquid immune-boosting magic, all over wellness shelves and grandma's home remedy shelf. But raw elderberries, along with the leaves, stems, and unripe berries, contain a compound that converts into cyanide once your body starts digesting it. Eat a handful raw thinking you're getting ahead of cold season, and you might end up with nausea, vomiting, and stomach cramps so intense you'll question every choice that led you there. The syrup version is safe because cooking neutralizes the toxic compounds, transforming a mildly dangerous berry into a legitimately useful home remedy, kind of like how fire turns a sketchy raw ingredient into something your immune system actually appreciates. This is a prime example of a food being simultaneously medicinal and mildly toxic depending entirely on how much effort you put into preparing it correctly. People assume natural automatically means safe, which is exactly the kind of logic that gets you a stomachache and a very confused pharmacist. Elderberries didn't ask to be trendy, they were just minding their business on a bush until wellness culture decided they were the answer to everything. Basically, elderberries are proof that nature loves a good asterisk, healing you and hurting you depending entirely on whether you bothered to turn on the stove. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe.